Hello everybody and welcome to this new video series from me, Jack from To Fluency. Now this new video series is called Ask Jack, and this is where I'm going to answer your questions about learning English and the English language. Now, as you can probably tell, I am outside filming this, and I'm going to try and film this in different types of locations. But to make this series work, to make it really successful and to help you, I'm going to need your questions. So click the link on your screen or below this video and it will take you to a form where you can ask me questions. And you can ask me questions about anything to do with learning English. And also I want questions about the English language too. So if there's a tense or some type of grammar or vocabulary that you don't understand, please get in touch with me and ask me the question. So let's get straight into question 1 from today.
Angga from Indonesia asks, what's the best accent to learn?
This is a great question, Angga. Now, from my accent you can probably tell that I'm from the UK. But I currently live in the US, so I'm very used to the different types of accents, and I've also been traveling a lot too. So when I listen to an accent, I can easily understand what people are saying. Not for every accent in English, but for the most part. Now, the accent that you want to learn is the one that is going to benefit you the most. There's also, an argument saying that it's good to learn different types of accents. Now it's worth pointing out also that the accent isn't going to be the only thing, because North American English and British English are very different. It's the accent, it's the pronunciation, the vocabulary, the grammar, the phrases, the slang that's used as well. So when you actually learn a specific type of English, then you're going to be learning all those things. But it's important to think about your situation and think, which accent am I going to need to understand the most? This could be dictated by your job or by your future aspirations. On the whole, there's no bad accent to learn. Some are more difficult than others, but most people want a standard British or American or Australian accent. Also English from other countries too. So think about your situation and which accent is going to be best for you.
A seller from Sri Lanka asks, how do I know if I make mistakes when speaking?
Thanks for your question, Asela. So, to know if what you're saying is right or wrong, it's all about getting feedback. So, I really recommend working with someone who is going to point out your mistakes so that you can actually learn from them. Because if you keep saying the same things over and over again, and you're saying the wrong things over and over again, then you're going to internalize this, and it's going to be very natural for you just to say wrong English. Now, this is obvious because when I've taught students from Spain, for example, then there are certain things that people from Spain say in an incorrect way. For example, a lot of people say people is stupid instead of people are stupid, because they haven't been corrected from an early age, and that's what a direct translation from Spanish into English is. So it's really important that someone does correct your mistakes when you speak and when you write. Obviously this is hard to get all the time, but having someone who's going to really point out those major mistakes is going to help. And then from there, you can go and make corrections and work on those mistakes so that you can improve your English in that sense.
Marcelo from Brazil asks, are there any tips on how to pronounce words that sound similar?
Thanks for the question, Marcello. Now, this is a really important part of English, and it's learning the different vowel sounds. Now, I can't remember from the top of my head, something over 20. So there are over 20 different vowel sounds in English. Now, different languages only have sometimes, 5 vowel sounds, which means that when you're learning English, it's important to learn these different types of vowel sounds. So when someone, again, just using the example from Spain, uses certain kind of words and it sounds like different words because they don't have the muscle memory in their mouth or know how to make the correct sounds. So a big part of my teaching is that I recommend working on the different vowel sounds. And there are drills that you can do as well so that you can practice between the two, like two confusing sounds. So look up, and there's a link below in the show notes that's going to give you a great resource where you can learn exactly what to do with your mouth so that you can produce the right type of sound. And this is an important part of learning English. It's not just about the vowel sounds, about the consonants and everything else. But specifically, a lot of learners struggle with these different vowel sounds because they don't have them in their native language. Now it's time for me to ask you a question. And the question for this video is this: what accent do you want to learn? So what accent do you want to learn? Leave your answers below this video. Click the link to ask me a question, and thanks for watching. See you next time.